Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to the temple and welcome to the Bat Mitzvah of Sofia Hughes. We are so excited. We know that you will do a great job. And personally, I'm really excited because we have here today two very special people that have graciously joined the Bat Mitzvah, Rabbi Hughes and Rabbi Rapport, whom I had the pleasure of working with for, I won't tell you how many years because it's embarrassing how many years, and I miss having them on the bima, and I hope that this is a sign for the future. We have chairs for you for the high holidays, by the way, but there's no hint there, no pressure. We will begin the service and the Bat Mitzvah by singing together, Ma Yafeh Hayom Shabbat Shalom, how beautiful the day is. It is Shabbat. And we turn now to our prayer books, and we turn to page 172 to sing together Ma Tovu.
Turn to the bottom of page 178. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'nivrei Torah. Page 179. Adonai our God, make the words of your Torah sweet to us, and to the house of Israel, your people, that we and our children may be lovers of your name and students of your Torah. We praise you, O God, teacher of Torah to our people of Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamlamed Torah lema'an Yisrael. Please turn to page 180. Evu divarim she'ein lachem shior. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. Please rise and turn to page 195. Baruch et Adonai Hamvara. Baruch Adonai Hamvara leolam va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. Baruch. Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvrei hoshef, oseh shalom uvrei erakol ha'meir la'aretz. V'ladarim aleha brahamin, uv'tuvo mehadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'hokma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kineha, titbarak Adonai Eloheinu. Al shava ma'aseh yedeha, v'al me'orei or she'asita, tifat ruha seleh. Or hadas al tzion te'ir, v'nizke kulanu mehirat le'uro. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot. Please join me. The world is sunlight restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes. More welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven.
I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot.
Turn to page 199. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear. In every land and every age, your children have heard you, and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity. We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully, we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel. And joyfully we remember that the throne of Israel's life, we would turn to you in fine purpose. May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir in our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, habochar ba'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Had. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malhuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anoki mitzavha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlektecha b'derek uvshokbaha uvkomeha ukshtartam laot al yedecha. V'hayu hadvarim the totafot bein eineha. Uktav tam al mezuzot beiteha uvisharecha. Lema'an tiskaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kidashta le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem mi'eretz Mitzrayim lihuot lachem L'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Love Adonai your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children, talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for your God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Turn to page 203 as we read. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, soldiers' homes to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Please rise and turn to page 205 for the tefillah. Adonai siftai tifta, ufi yagi tehilateha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imitenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'al Hagidol Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol v'Zocher, Hasadei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula, Livnei V'Nehem Lema'an Shemo Behava, Melech Ozei Umoshia Umagain, Baruch atah Adonai, Magain Avraham, Israel Sarah. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts. They sought you in their lives, their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring justice nearer to the world we envision. One of justice, freedom, and peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Magain Avraham ve'Israel Sarah.
Please join as we read together. You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the door frame, I begin to step into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher, encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמעתי שמע אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא לזה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כי הודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכינו, הוא מושיענו, הוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהים, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד קולך, ולנצח נצחים קדושך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
I invite the readers to come as Rabbi Rooks and Jennifer are going to lead us in singing Yismechu. But can the readers that we have after that join us here?
ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי, שמרי, שמרי שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי, שמרי, שמרי שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם ישבעו ותענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי, שמרי, שמרי שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי, שמרי, שמרי שבת, וקורא עונג שבת.
למעשה בראשית שבת, זכר למעשה בראשית שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת לכונן שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת לכונן שבת.
And we turn to page 211.
The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to the holiness in time. It is a day in which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world.
And we turn now to page 214.
For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim anaknu lak. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons. Modim anaknu lak. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modim anaknu lak. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim anaknu lak. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modim anaknu lak. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. Modim anaknu lak. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. We pray that we live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds.
We turn now to page 216 for the blessing for shalom, the blessing for peace.
O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit that life prevails.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom. Sim shalom, tova uvracha.
We take a moment for a silent prayer. We turn now to page 253 for the Misha Berach, the prayer for healing and courage and strength in our lives, in the lives of everyone that is dear to us. We name in our hearts those we know that need courage and healing and strength as we sing from page 253, the Misha Berach.
The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
As we're turning now to page 244 for the order of reading from the Torah, I would like to invite those who are opening and closing the ark and also the family that is passing the Torah from one generation to the next to come up to the bima. Please rise, everyone, as we turn to page 244 for the order of reading from the Torah, Seder Kriyat HaTorah LeShabbat.
Adonai melech
teaches us that Moses received the Torah on top of Mount Sinai. Moses then passed the Torah to Joshua, who passed it on to the elders. They passed it on to the prophets, who passed it on to the rabbis of the Great Assembly. And since the time of Moses, thousands of years ago, till this bat mitzvah, your bat mitzvah, Sofia, the Torah has been passed from one generation to the next, just waiting to be passed on to you. Usually we translate words of Torah as teachings because we're not only passing this quite heavy scroll that has 5 books in it, we're passing with it all the teachings that are there, all the lessons, all the beautiful stories, all the traditions that are there. And sometimes as we pass the Torah from one generation to the next, we do it and our hands are kind of trembling as we're not sure of how well it will be carried to the next generation, but this is not one of these cases. This has meant to be your day. Your Torah portion is called in Hebrew Bamidbar, which means in the wilderness. The people of Israel are wandering in the wilderness. You're beginning your journey as an adult in the wilderness of life, and we know that you will take those teachings into heart. You will interpret them to make them fit your world and who you are, and you are really a trusted person to pass it on to the next generation. We are going to symbolically pass it on between the generations, and I think that the fact that there is a rabbi here at the head of the passage means that maybe, or hopefully, we see a future rabbi in front of us, definitely a future teacher in front of us. We'll pass it now from one generation to the next. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai Hagidula, Yagivura, Yadivi. על שלושה דיבורים, על שלושה דיבורים, העולם עומד. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה.
Please be seated.
לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה.
Oh no, the pages. This one, right? Are we done? Our God and God of our ancestors, I stand before this sacred assembly, proclaiming that I choose to be part of the people of Israel, a part of its heritage and its fate bound by its commandments. Give me strength to follow your path and be a source of pride to my family, my community, and my people. How greatly we are blessed, how good is our portion, how pleasant is our lot, and how beautiful our heritage. Blessed we are when we sanctify your name and declare, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
First, we have the Aliyah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Amvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bechar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ve'adaber Adonai el Moshe b'mirabar Sinai be'ohel moed behar lahodesh hasheni bashana hashenid letzetam mi'eretz Mitzrayim lemor si'u et rosh kol adat b'nei Yisrael lemishpehotam laved avotam b'mispar shemot kol zachar legila gedotam mi ben esrihim shana v'mala kol yotzei tzava. Oh no. Where? There? Be'Yisrael tivkedu otam, litzvotam ata v'haron.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. Thank you. Yishar Koach.
All right.
Wait.
Oh, wait, okay.
Let your parents do the blessing before.
Baruch Atah Adonai.
Baruch Adonai Amvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato.
Baruch Atah Adonai. Notein haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Virhem yihiyu, ish lamatel, ish rosh leved avotan, hu ve'ele shemot ha'anashim asher yamdu idhem v'rovein. Wait, what? Okay. V'rovein Elitzor ben Shedor Leshimon Shulumiel ben Sosadav.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata bato ha'enu.
Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha-Torah.
Amen.
All right. Baruch et Adonai Hamvara.
Baruch Adonai המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai Hamvara le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Yeah. I got it. Lihuda Nahashon Ben Aminadav Lisakar Nathanael Ben Suar Lizvolun Eliav Ben Helon. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet ve'yahayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. Al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe, b'yad Moshe. Al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe, b'yad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar bin v'im tovim v'ratza v'divrachem ha'ne'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habahar b'torah u'moshiach avdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'eh ha'emet v'tzedek.
Amen.
Ve'erashti li le'olam, ve'erashti li b'tzedek u'v'mishapat, u'v'hesed u'v'rahamim, ve'erashti li b'emunah v'yadat et Adonai. All right. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, rock of all creation, righteous one of all generations, the faithful God whose word is deed, whose every command is just and true. For the Torah, for the privilege of worship, for the prophets, and for this Shabbat, that you, Adonai our God, have given us the holiness and rest. For honor and glory, we thank and bless you. May your name be blessed forever and by every living being. Praise to you, Adonai, for Sabbath and its holiness.
And we turn now to page 256 in order to return the Torah to the ark. Please rise, everyone. And will the opening and closer come to open and close the ark stage?
I stay here.
It's Chaim Ilam Machazikim Shalom, 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 shalom.
Please be seated, everyone.
All right, ready to go? All right. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for everyone who has come here for my bat mitzvah. I really appreciate you. In my Torah portion, Moses is in the Sinai desert when God says Moses must take a census of the Israelite community. God continues on with giving instructions on who is eligible for the census as well as who will help Moses carry out the census. This whole ordeal may seem simple enough, but an issue arises when, in the second verse, God commands Moses to take a census of the entire Israelite population. But not even a verse later, this instruction is contradicted when God says that only males over the age of 20 should be counted. This is not a common occurrence. In the Torah, in one particular section, God provides over 14 ways to count everyone. In this Torah portion, God is saying directly to Moses who counts to God and who doesn't. Unfortunately, this does not include any of the women nor children. Saying to someone that you don't count or you don't count to me is one of the greatest insults one can receive. It makes me happy to know that it's only in select places in which God is this exclusionary. It is here where I'd like to challenge you with a question. Who counts to you? Who is someone that you feel matters? Think about this for a moment. I can think of several people who matter to me. My family, my friends, teachers, the list goes on. But who really matters? Who counts to you? Is it your child, your siblings, or your friends? And maybe it's someone who doesn't count to you. Perhaps someone who wasn't kind to you in the past. Or maybe someone whose beliefs disagree with yours. Perhaps it's even someone who you are prejudiced to without even knowing them. No matter what you think, they still matter. Even if they hurt you, they still count as people and should be treated as such. Despite all of our differences, we do at least have one thing in common. We're still human, and no matter what, we all matter. To me, becoming a bat mitzvah hasn't necessarily been at the top of my list of things to think about. I had thought about the Hebrew, the party, caterers, things like that, but it wasn't until recently that I really thought about what being a bat mitzvah meant. Literally, bat mitzvah translates to daughter of the Torah, and it means I would be considered an adult in the Jewish community. But to me, becoming a bat mitzvah means that I will now be more of my own person and I'll have more responsibilities for myself. As a bat mitzvah, I will try to take on more responsibility for the things I do rather than having my parents handle all of my issues. First, I would like to thank my mom and dad. Mama, ever since I was little, you've always been there to look out for me and to help me become the person I am now. Whether it's through teaching me lessons about the importance of cleaning my room or being quiet in public spaces, or to helping me find my interest and supporting me with them. And no matter how outlandish my owl house theory may be, or how long my Percy Jackson review is, you still listen and you still support me. In fact, no matter what I've said to you, you've always supported me. And for that, I will always be grateful. I love you, and I'm so happy we can share our interests together and that you always are willing to make time for me. Dad, one of my earliest memories is of you reading to me. You've taught me so much through the stories you've told me. To be honest, it's because of you that Everything Will Look Better in the Morning has become one of my go-to pieces of advice. It is through you and your stories that my love of reading stemmed, and for that, I am eternally grateful. Without you two helping me and guiding me through the world, there's no way I'd be half the person you see standing in front of you today. Grandma Donna, I'm not really sure where to start here. Over the years, you have done so much for me, it's hard to remember it all. There's no chance that I would be who I am now without you. It's always a great day when I get to spend it with you. Though I may not show it, I do appreciate you and I do love you. Grandpa, sorry. Even though I may not see you as much as I would like to, I must thank you for everything you've done for me. It is great that the two of us can share a love of music together. Tanya, my godmother, through it all, you have always been there for me and my family. You are, without a doubt, one of the nicest people in my life, whether it's through sharing our hatred of M. Night Shyamalan films or through teaching me lessons I will never forget. I will always remember and value the time we spent together. Adia, it's an odd feeling remembering when you were a baby, given that I'm only 12. However, despite your age, you still remain one of the most vibrant and joyful people I know, and you have provided me with so many experiences to laugh I will always remember. I hope that even as you get older, you never lose your happiness and sense of humor. To all my aunts, uncles, and cousins, I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be related to such kind, wonderful, and loving people. I understand that many of you have had to travel and work around schedules just to be here for that, and I'm incredibly thankful. It is truly a blessing to be related to all of you. Maggie. Couldn't find you for a minute there, sorry. You've always been one of my closest friends for as long as I can remember. I understand that receiving the news that my bat mitzvah would fall on your birthday was not the news you would have liked to hear. But even with that, you have been an incredibly supportive friend. You have always been one of the kindest and most positive people I know. I hope you know how much you matter to me, Natalia, Addie, Eliza, and countless others. You've always been, without a doubt, one of the happiest and kindest people in our school, and I hope that you know that. Without you, the world would be a much bleaker place. Thank you for always being there, and happy birthday. Meredith, one of my first friends, and somehow still one of my closest friends. It's crazy to think that we met in preschool and still have remained friends all this time. It's simply remarkable to me that our interests have shifted from PJ Masks and Bubble Guppies to Demon Slayer and Undertale. I'm so grateful that I have been given the opportunity to grow up with you. Natalia. Where do I even start with this? You have been one of my closest friends since the first grade, and even though we don't always see eye to eye with each other, you're one of the few people who truly know me and truly accept me for me. Despite our differences, you and I have always found a way to relate. Though your thank you may seem short, it's solely because I found it hard to put all my gratitude into words. So thank you for all the bus rides, the phone calls, and all the stories. Shyla and Annabelle. Since the beginning of my St. Gabriel career, you two have always been there for me. When the three of us met in first grade, it was clear we were going to be best friends. You two are some of the most creative people I know, being able to draw and paint things I could only dream of. You two have always had my back no matter what, and I am so lucky to have such wonderful friends to confide in. Thank you. A lot of people this time. Jimmy, Nolan, Garrett, Logan, Carson, Adela, Crow, Addie, and Eliza. Oh, and Sophie, sorry. And really just the whole lunch table gang. It's amazing to be surrounded by some of the most creative and funny people at our school. It's truly amazing that our conversations can shift from video games to anime in less than a second. I'm so thankful to all of you for being here today and supporting me throughout the year. Mrs. Lutz. To be completely honest, ever since I first met you in the first grade, you've been one of my favorite teachers I've ever had. You sing so beautifully and have taught me so much throughout the 7 years. Most importantly, though, you helped me develop my love of music and singing. Thank you. Rob, Natalie, and the rest of the folks. Throughout my life, you've always been there for me and my family, especially today, stepping up when we needed you most. Thank you. To my Hebrew school class. It's incredible that I have known over half of you since preschool, and it's truly been an honor to grow up and study with all of you. You are some of the nicest and most considerate people I know. Thank you. Thank you, Ruby, Jane, and Blake. To Cantor Warren. Unfortunately, Cantor Warren is not able to be here today due to surgery. But even though she's not present here, I would like to express my gratitude to her either way. Without Cantor Warren, there is no way I would have been able to chant even half of my Torah portion. When Hebrew school ended, she had made sure I was prepared and had set up meetings and check-ins to make sure I had everything ready. It was truly unfortunate she was not able to make it today, but my gratitude remains the same. To Rachel Diamond. I am so grateful that you are here today, using your wonderful talent to sing for my bat mitzvah. You have a beautiful singing voice, and I'm so happy that you're here today. Finally, to Rabbi David, Rabbi Rooks, and Rabbi Rapport. All of you have done so much to prepare me for my bat mitzvah alone. I am eternally grateful. But it's through all that you have taught me over the years I am most thankful for. I am also especially grateful to Rabbi Rooks and Rabbi Rapport for being here. I understand that you can't be at everyone's bar bat mitzvah, so I'm immensely grateful for you taking the time to be here today at my bat mitzvah. Thank you for everyone here at my bat mitzvah. I really appreciate all of you. And now, Mom and Dad, you have the floor.
I would like to start off by thanking everyone who got up this morning and came out here today. Let me check the temperature because that was a heck of a speech. And it's really hard to follow, but I'll do my best. But I'm not going to be nearly as long. So, Sofia, the other night at rehearsal, I watched you read from the Torah, and it was beautiful. And I realized that you're better at this than I will ever be in my entire life, okay? I still struggle with the prayer books. I flip them open the wrong way. Sometimes they're upside down. Sometimes I can't even read some of the prayers, but you always know and you show me how to do it and what I should be doing. You always know. Like, you're just this wonderful little package. I remember when I visited the Cal class with Miss Jan, and she would quiz you little kids on Torah stories. And somehow you would just emerge with these right answers every single time. And it was the first time ever in my life that you really just surprised me. You have been just the most wonderful child, and your mind is incredible. There's been many times that you've surprised me. Like that time I was standing in the kitchen and a little blue robot that you programmed rolled into the room and then stared me down with its mechanical eye. And it said, "Daddy, make pelmeni, bring it upstairs." Pelmeni's her favorite food. It's a Russian dumpling. It's amazing. And that was a really good try. And we had a good laugh over it. I have no idea if I made pelmeni or not.
You didn't.
I didn't, okay. So it was a good try. But we definitely had a good laugh over it. And laughter is so important in our family. I feel like it's what unites us. No matter how strange and weird the world gets, we always find something to laugh about. Pardon, I'm a little verklempt. But speaking of laughter, you have always had excellent comedic timing. I remember when your Hebrew school put on the Purim play, and you told me that no one wanted to play Haman, the wicked villain out to kill all the Jews. But you said, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to be Haman." And you rocked that role so hard. I heard so much laughter in this room. And after that, I hear that Haman became a very popular role. But not anyone could have done it the way you did. It has been an honor to watch your mind bloom, to see you take chances and to do things and to say, "I'm going to do that." Like archery. We don't do archery. And it led to your mother being an archery coach. Like, how does that happen? But there's so many other things. There's taekwondo, violin, singing, student government. I have to have a list here because I could go on all day. There's been so many things. Quick recall, like you have just nothing stops you. When you make up your mind, you do it, and that is just, I look up to that. Every day you make your mother and I proud of you. Bar none. You are the best child we could have asked for. And I thank you for being my kid. Thank you. All right, your turn.
I'm going to be lengthy, unlike my husband there, but I try not to break down. Dear child, infant, my Sofia, when you were born, a friend of ours said that you had intelligence in your eyes. He was not wrong. From the day you could communicate, you had something smart to say. Whether it was some random facts about animals, Greek mythology, or even Owl House, your statements always were backed by facts. You have always acted grown for your age, and now you can officially tell me that you are grown. Congrats. With this will come more choices and more responsibilities that I know you will accept with grace and some mouthing off, because you are my child. That is just fine because you know what you want. You will find a way to get it, and I pray for anyone who stands in your way. You are one of the most headstrong and independent people I know. You have the innate ability to logically win arguments with people twice your age, and I will always be proud of you and have your back. Infant, you have an amazing sense of compassion and justice. You will stand up for bullies, for yourself and your friends. Since you started speaking, you have always spoken up against injustices. Sometimes those injustices were homework and bedtime. But sometimes they were on a grander scale. You made me absolutely proud when you joined me with Slava Ukraina last year and helped me raise awareness against the war. You spoke out at school, you spoke out at Hebrew school, and you even made your own fundraiser to raise money for the troops back at home. You have demonstrated compassion and understanding that is beyond your age. Your fight for the rights of LGBTQ community make me beam with pride. I really love the fact that you got into it without my influence or your dad's. You just know when you need to speak out for those who can't. Your creativity, my child. For one, you played the violin, and you played well. I know it's not the cello. It's not as good as the cello, but that's okay. It's just a little too squeaky. Not your fault, it's the instrument. Anyway, you draw, and every time you share your sketches, you get better and better. You're a great storyteller and a writer, and boy, do you have theories. There may be eye rolling from me, but I wouldn't give them up. Your Owl House, Demon Slayer discussions for anything. I will do anything if you want to keep this creativity growing, minus the discussions sometimes, you know. I can't wait to see what you get into next. And can we talk about some animals? You definitely are my child. There's no critter, be it fuzzy, scaly, slimy, that you do not love. If it wasn't for your dad's silly pet limit rule, Prudence and Colin Robinson would for sure have a few more kitty siblings, and Ira would hate us all. But then we would also have lots of things and tanks. But again, your dad plots against us, then we have no more babies. As we go day to day, sometimes butting heads, you pushing that strong will on Dad and I to get your way. I can see my father now, Sasha, looking down at us and laughing the whole time while eating an orange. When I found out I was pregnant with you and you were a girl, he would not stop laughing at me. Like every time we had dinner, he had a joke at my behalf that I was having a girl. In the end, he said, "That's my perfect revenge." I know what he means. You are just like me. You're headstrong, you're determined, and you take challenges well, and you will not compromise unless you have to. But we find solutions to that. We compromise instead of we keep arguing. I know Sasha's proud of you. I know he's proud of everything you've done. I can hear him now. How'd you get a smart one? And my answer is that you're a gift to us all here. Always have been. Your two goals for this bat mitzvah were confidence and assurance. Child, you have always had the confidence and assurance to do what you need to do. I have no doubts that you will continue being confident in yourself. But if you ever lose that, don't worry. Dad and I, we got you. I gave you the name that means wisdom and light, and you have grown into both those definitions, for sure. You're the light of my life. You have changed my life for the better. Every day you grow, I grow with you. I can see you growing more into an assertive individual that you are. You will face challenges, and you will have wisdom to let them go. When asked to help, you will help, or you will ask for help when you need it. There's still so much wonder left in this world for you. You will dissect it, and you will challenge it. I love you, my infant, and I always got your back.
Sofia. This is the part of the service that's called the Devar Torah, which means a word of Torah, which is just an excuse for rabbis to say a lot of words about Torah, but more specifically about you. You've already done that, spoken for yourself. Your parents have said so much about what a wonderful, amazing young woman you have become and have always been, and I think will always be. So let me take this opportunity to teach you one more time a lesson on Torah. A Devar Torah on two words of Torah, not just one. And both of them, one of them's Torah, and both of them are terms in archery. Let's start with the harder word. It's the word chet. It's a word we don't use that often in conversation because it's used so much in services. The word chet means sin. But honestly, that's a terrible translation. The right translation is missed the mark, because it's an archery term for when you take aim, fire straight, and how much you miss the mark by. It's a very interesting way of looking at mistakes or sins, a very Jewish way of looking at it. It's not something about you. It could be about the wind, it could be about the distance, it could be about the arrow, it could be about a lot of things that makes it not quite perfect, and yet true. When you miss the mark, you learn something, or at least you can, about where the mark is and how to hit it next time. Doing something wrong can teach you something right. The other word is the, well, probably most famous word in Hebrew, which is the word Torah, which is also an archery term. It's the term for the straight path of an arrow. When we walk on the path of Torah, it means we're taking aim and accomplishing that task. Again, it's not about being perfect. It's about the goal, the focus, the direction that we want to go. And then learning from everything we do right and everything we do wrong and everything that's really most of everything, which is all the stuff in between. What can I learn from this moment? How can I fire that next shot better? How can I perfect myself? And how can I be part of being partners with God in perfecting the world? That's why the word tikkun olam means perfecting the world, because the world is not perfect. You may have noticed that. I happen to be aware all the social justice you decide to take on in your life. We're a long way from perfect. But we can be perfecting, meaning making things better. We certainly have the power to make things worse when we do things wrong. And when that reminds us that we have the power to make things worse, it reminds us also that we have the power to make things better. You remind us of that. When there's a cause that needs joining, you join. When there's nothing to join, you make something for us to be able to join with you. The world is now yours in the sense that you are the archer of life now. You have within you these words of Torah that were meant to be that straight path, that goal, that focus that you can shine on. And you have the recognition that we're not there yet. But with everything you do and everything you learn from that experience, you bring us closer to perfecting the world and making it more like you and more like you and your family and this community understands that it can be. So that's my Devar Torah for you. There aren't really two parts of your life. Your Jewish life at which you excel. Your school life, I guess there's many parts of your life. And this other thing you do, which is archery, which is somehow different. It's all the same. It's all recognizing where we want to go, how we can get there, and taking every shot we can at perfecting the world. May you always be that for all of us. Mazel tov on your bat mitzvah.
We do have gifts. Okay, I'm supposed to give you gifts. And I'm saying to Jennifer, there are no gifts. Well, the real truth is, Sophia, you are the gift. And you have been such a wonderful gift for all of us here today. And thank you for doing such a beautiful job leading services. So in here is a tzedakah box from Sisterhood for collecting coins. Tzedakah means righteousness. It's not just charity. And I know that you know all about that. And a Torah from Brotherhood, and you don't know all about that, but you know enough to get you on the, to use the archery term, straight and narrow. What I wanted to talk to you about today, though, very briefly, in your Torah portion, when you were reading for the census each house and who would be the leader from that house, from the tribe of Judah, it says, Nachshon ben Aminadav. Remember those words in your Torah portion? Nachshon ben Aminadav. It's a name. Nachshon is one of my greatest heroes in the Bible. We don't know that much about him, but according to Jewish tradition, when God had Moses lead the children of Israel out of slavery, and then Pharaoh changed his mind and sent the chariots after them, they got stuck. What was in the way, do you know? The Red Sea or the Sea of Reeds. And there's the Egyptian army in the back, and there's the Sea of Reeds in the front. And what are they going to do? They're not going to go back to slavery. And Nachshon ben Aminadav, Nachshon, the son of Aminadav, had the faith and the courage and the insight to step into the water. And according to Jewish tradition, the sea did not part until Nachshon stepped into it. And he was such an amazing leader. And I don't think I've ever said this at a bat or bar mitzvah charge, but you, Sofia, have the capacity and you seem to have the inherent gift of that kind of leadership, of someone who has tremendous faith, tremendous courage, and strength to step forward into the unknown. And for you, the sea will part, but it's not just for you, because you're a leader like Nachshon was a leader. And I just look forward, having watched your mother grow up, and knowing your grandparents and your dad and you a little bit, I really look forward to seeing what kind of Nachshon Sofia will be, how she will lead us forward and literally change the world for the better for all of us. And Rabbi Rapport and I have the honor of doing your blessing. This blessing for today is something said when you were a baby, when you were born, and throughout life. At any time that we want to ask for God's blessing, we do it with words that come from the Torah. That's how ancient they are. God said to Moses, tell Aaron that when they wish to invoke my name and bless the people, these are the words they should speak. And so these are the words that we have for you on this sacred day. If I can get it out.
May God bless you and keep you from harm. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God's face be lifted unto you and grant you always the blessing of peace. Amen.
Amen.
Now we have one last gift for you. It's a gift of song, and this is Luchi Lach, and I know that one of the things that you and your family wanted most is some moments with both of us and all of us on the pulpit singing to you.
We should have sung it before I got all verklempt.
Take a sip. I like it. To a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lecha, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechila, lechila, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechila, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'chila. And you shall be a blessing. You are such a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing.
We turn now to page 293 in our prayer books. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Jose Maza, Henry Berg Brousseau, David Sean Bailey, Philip J. Levy, Sofia Zlatina, Sarah Myers, Ivan Howard, Eleanor Hyman, Florence Heimson, Philip Sherman, Arthur Sobel, Bernice Hildebrand, Florence R. Sales, Henrietta Silk, Anna Simon, Stanley Barron, Larry Gross, Edwin Kerman, Sharon Kessel, David C. Rosenberg, Max Klein, Samuel Klein, Sadie P. Temas, Edith Maxine Gasser, Evelyn Jacobs, Clara Weiner, Jack Udin, Edith Cohen, Sarah Rebecca Davis, Harry Klein, Abram Weintraub, and Sofia and her family would like us all to remember those we would have loved to be here and always live in our hearts. Alexander Malkin, Natalia Malkin, Wolf Malkin, Victor Malkin, Geneva Hughes. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories of our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 to read together the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה, may the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. I would like to invite all of Sofia's family and Sofia as we are saying the blessings, and before that we're going to do the closing song.
Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom. First they're going to sing. They're going to sing Oseh Shalom, and then we do the You're amazing.
Shalom Israel,
Shalom
Do I do that first? Oh, Skittish first. All right. Oh, I got it right there. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam b'rei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Amen.
That was it. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. We say now B'te'avon, but more important, we say Mazal Tov to Sofia. She was so wonderful, and she will continue to go from strength to strength, and hopefully don't change too much. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please wish Shabbat Shalom to someone you don't know, and also to those you do know. And I think that the family would like everyone to join them at the Kiddush luncheon that there is outside at the atrium. Shabbat Shalom and Mazal Tov.
Yes, please come eat.
Please come eat. We want too much food. She was great. Thank you. She was amazing. I love it. Keep her. No, keep her. Keep her. Keep her. You got her.